Gracias estás. Thank you for joining. Got people tuning in from LinkedIn, Twitch, Facebook. Oh, and Twitter, or Periscope, I guess is the video. So what are we working on today? Today we are working on auth working. I ended the last stream and I was trying to find like my database connection string with a G in Supabase. So I found it. I'm going to show you where it is real quick. I love that they do a real-time chat app. This is really cool. I wonder if that includes authentication. There's an email and password. I'm really tempted to just take that because it seems to have auth out of the box. But my concern is that it'll be using the Supabase auth tools, which I am not confident in currently. So let's say I am on my Supabase homepage. Then I'll go into an organization page. I only have one organization. It's my organization. Go to all projects. We're working on Starboi today. Then I go to the settings on the left, and I click database. And if I scroll to the bottom, it has my connection info and it has my connection string. And I like the way they did this because, like, I can stream it. It doesn't put my password right there. It's like, hey, that password you used when you set it up. And I don't really care if y'all know that other stuff. So now we know our database connection string. This is a pass I don't care if everyone sees. That's not my real password. I'm going to take this off screen and put my real one. And then we'll get going. So let's copy this. I noticed the connection string is missing the schema query parameter. So schema query parameter here, just so you can see what it would look like. Schema equals public. So I think you're going to have to add that query parameter for Prisma to connect successfully. Small note. Very cool. So let me do that. And then what was my real password? Gotta look that up real quick. I think this is it. And I mean, if this doesn't work, I'll just reset it and make a new one. Okay, so close that env file and bring back my VS Code front and center. Next step, set up the database URL. That's what we did it. So please refer to the last stream if you don't know where these steps come from. Basically, we're trying to initialize Prisma. We're going to use Prisma as an ORM. That's an object relational mapper. What it does is it talks to our database and it gets data out of the database and it turns those database records into JavaScript objects. So that's what an ORM does, at least in Node. You know, in Java, it would turn it into Java objects, POJOs, plain old Java objects. So ORM puts it into a format that's friendly for the programming language that you're using. It's not like it's always JavaScript objects. But in our case, that's what it is. So to initialize Prisma, npx prisma init, we'll bring up back that web page. So this is the guide we're following. This is the step we're on. Okay. Creates the following. Yep, that worked. Database URL, we did that. Okay, now create your database schema. So we're going to literally copy this guy's schema. That's one of the great parts about using a tutorial is I don't have to fuss about the model right now. Previously, I presumed that because this is a blog starter, they would have something like an article model. So here it is. It's a post model. It's what they're calling post, but it's like a blog post, a blog article. And that is the model that I intend to transform into an anecdote model. So I'm going to just go ahead and rename it anecdote. Let's think about this. Does this model reflect the anecdote? And the answer is no. It's missing some fields. So we're going to go ahead and knock that step out quickly. So Control P to find the file quickly. Fuzzy type. So if I just Control P and look for schema Prisma, I'm going to find several results. It's ambiguous because I have multiple projects in my VS Code scope, and I'm using Prisma in like a few of those projects. VS Code's kind of cool because it would be ambiguous on the file name alone, but here you can see laterally Futurecaster, Starboi. So it's telling me the parent folder, which is really helpful. And so I could just click it. That would be one way to do it. The other way to do it is, and you see how I'm fuzzy typing. I didn't put the period. And VS Code will support that. The other thing I can do is I can say rockstar schema. And you see, again, it's fuzzy typing. And this time it filtered it to what's under the rockstar folder. Cool. So I feel comfortable doing that. Let's refer to the GitHub Pages for Starboi. So refer back to the previous stream, but basically Starboi is like the inspiration for Starboi. Starboi is hosted on GitHub Pages. It is front-end only. It doesn't have a back-end database. It's a pure React app. It doesn't have any of these libraries like Redux or Prisma or Material or Prettier even, which is like code formatting. It doesn't even have Prettier. So Starboi is really an elevated Starboi. What we can do here though is we can understand our model requirements by looking here. So we're going to need a title and a date. I think the post may already have this. Let's check. A title and a published, which is a Boolean. It's not a date. Here's created at. Yeah, I'm pretty surprised that the post doesn't have a created at and an updated at. So that's cool. Just a thing we can add. This is really one of those things that I like to do is put the fields in alphabetical order. I know. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Cool. Let me save it, and it should auto format. If it doesn't auto format, which it did not, we're missing some sort of Prisma tool. Oh yeah, npx Prisma format or something like that. Yep. So Prisma has its own formatter, which is pretty cool. That should do it. See, it formatted it for me. Thanks, Prisma. Couple people, I told them I'm trying to get you some juicy Redux hook content tonight, and this is on Discord. And a couple people said, also please give me that juicy job hunting help. So yeah, totally. Follow my TikTok for like job hunting tidbits as well as coding tidbits. Some of the tips would be get credentialed. Get credentialed. And that may sound intimidating, but it's not. A LinkedIn skill assessment is a really great way to demonstrate that you know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Preferably, you'll also learn React. This other stuff is not really necessary. You don't need Prisma for an entry-level job. For a senior-level job, it would be pretty cool. But honestly, you're better off learning SQLize if you want to impress employers, because even though I prefer Prisma, SQLize is what's currently mostly used in industry for Node. Yeah, make sure you get your resume vetted. That's another big one. And I'll get off this tangent, but I just want to briefly mention this. Indeed has a really great resume review. I can also do a resume review. I really don't like to, though, because Indeed does it better for a really low price, and it takes me so much time that it's like, dude, like, I'm not making money. So I don't really do resume reviews except legit as a favor. Like, I wouldn't charge you to review your resume. And I really don't want to review your resume. But LinkedIn will do it. $20. They'll do a rewrite for $90. The reason that's really cool is because their resume, when they write it for you, it's going to beat the ATS. So the ATS is the applicant tracking system. It's an automated tool that filters out most resumes before those resumes ever get to a human eye. So Indeed is really, like, Indeed has their own ATS, and they're very familiar with like industry rules for ATS and how to beat those rules. So highly recommend theirs. Basically, you get those, and in addition to LinkedIn skill assessments, another really great one is Pluralsight Skill IQ. I also like to work with recruiters. For your first job, the recruiter is your friend. People worry about recruiters. Maybe worry about them when you're a senior, because like me, recruiters are bothering me, but I could get better roles with direct hire. As a senior principal level, as a junior, that's not the case. The recruiters are actually going to make it easier for you to land a job with a better pay. And they're going to have these tools, like they'll do the resume review, they'll help you write it. They already have job availability and social network. Here's another big one that they do. In addition to the LinkedIn skill assessments, in addition to the Pluralsight Skill IQ, recruiters such as Tech Systems and Apex Systems is another, but Tech Systems specifically, I've had this experience in the past. They helped me land my first role, and they have their own like quiz that they'll give you for JavaScript or for CSS, and they can prove, like, the employers that they work with trust their quizzes is what I'm calling them. I think that's like not the right term, but if you're talking to a Tech Systems recruiter and you're like, hey, can I take a JavaScript quiz, I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to hook you up, and they'll know what that means. So those would be my 3 tips out of the box. Get a good resume, blast it out. You can do these like one-click applies. Do it. It's a numbers game for that first job. Follow up with a human. Use LinkedIn, use Indeed, and try to get a recruiter in your corner. When I mentor people and we get into the like interview process phase, I recommend 50 to 100 applications per week for a minimum of 4 weeks. You know, I'm not making any guarantees to you, but that's literally never failed me. I haven't had hundreds of people that I've taught how to code, but the people that I've taught how to code, I haven't had a problem so far. I mean, people take different amounts of time, but I've definitely gotten interviews in all the ones that I can remember. Yeah, not necessarily hired after the interview from those first 4 weeks, but definitely gotten interviews after the first 4 weeks from that. Okay, that was a fun tangent. Let's get this post going. We're going to refer back to Starboi, employer, situation, obstacle, task, result. employer situation, obstacle, task, action, result, and notes. These are mostly going to be strings. I think that's everything we need for now. Great, so we'll grab these strings. Yeah, in the future, maybe they're not strings. Like maybe employer is its own model. But this will be like a low fidelity, small LOE thing we can knock out real quick. I don't think I need this content thing anymore. But I'm going to leave it there for now because the Prisma starter, the Next.js starter for the blog is expecting it. So I'm going to leave it there for now. Okay, so now we have a great model. And yep, npx Prisma DB push, which just says, hey Prisma, use it, babe. Use my schema, please. Thank you. Okay, my credentials failed. Okay, I've got a couple other passwords I'll test, and then I might need to reset the password. What I can do actually is refer to my Chrome password tool. So I'm going to take that off screen. Password settings. And cool. So this is how you get to passwords. Now I'm going to take it off screen before I click it. Boom. Searching for the Supabase. Cool. I think that should fix it. Let's see. Provided database string is invalid port number. What's going on with that? Port number is 5432. Nothing invalid to see. So now I'm sus on. Oh no, you know, I know what it is. My password has some funky characters that I was doing for security, but it's breaking the ability to connect. So I either need to escape those or do a password reset. Postgres database string escape. Like what? Which of these would actually need to get escaped? Let's just see how it says to do any of them. An escape string constant is specified by writing the letter E. that's within a query. I want to know about the connection. Okay, I think the simplest way to do this will be to reset the password, honestly. Because I feel like if I just like add a backslash, that's just going to be bad news bears. Okay, Supabase. How do we reset a database password? Resetting your project password. Alter. Yeah. So this is a cool part about Supabase is I can't connect with my local database, but I can just use the dashboard that they provide, and so I can alter it like this. So let's go. So how do you get to that table editor? It's right here. Okay, no. Database SQL editor, not table editor. And I can just, they have this like default query one. Okay, so I'm going to take this off screen. My password's not going to be a new password, but this is how you do it. And then I'll just click run. Okay, so this is not what I really put there, but you can see success, no rows returned. So now what I really put there, I'm going to put my M file. Boop. Close my M file, la 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 la, and bring that bad boy on screen for you. Let's push it again. Push it real good. Looks like it worked that time. Okay, great. For those of you who don't know, Prisma is really cool because it has a built-in database editor. So I can npx Prisma Studio, use that keyword studio. It'll pop me up a browser. And so after this push goes through, I should be able to view it that way. And then Supabase also has this really nice interface. And this is the Supabase way to view it. My tables. I don't have any tables right now. But when the push goes through, I should have a post table and a user table. I'm not sure those guys generate tables, but I think there is like a Prisma meta table. So I'm expecting at least 2 tables and maybe 3 or 4. Okay, so I'll go ahead and commit this stuff. So this will be npx Prisma init. Basically just I'll say init schema. Basically just like setting up Prisma, right? So we'll push that. Okay, I guess the process is busy or something. It won't let me write it right now. That's fine. This is the first time I'm doing a DB push in this project. I think that's why it's doing all of the stuff. I really like this. Look, it deleted the up character, and that's an underrated power move. So this is called freezing. So this froze the Prisma version, which is really good to make sure that you have no syntax breakage due to some kind of like Prisma update. And they also injected the client. I'm a big fan of the Prisma client. It gives you types for free for your models. So I don't need to write a TypeScript post model because the Prisma schema creates an isomorphic TypeScript post model. Isomorphic meaning I can use it on the back end, I can use it on the front end. Really great feature of Prisma. It works through the Prisma client. Okay. I don't want this yarn lock file. Oh, was I supposed to be using yarn? Okay, let me drop this. Let me double check my GitHub repository. So this is Starboi. We're going to rock it. And I see a get ignore, and I see a package lock, and a yarn lock. I have both. That's a super bad news bears. So I'm going to unstage my package lock, and I am going to ls verify I'm in the right folder. I'm going to rm package lock. Okay, now I deleted it. I'm going to stage my deletion. So now I'm just using yarn. I think it's because I was using npx, and npx hooks package lock. I think that is the lowdown. Is there like a yarn npx? I actually don't know. There is no yarn equivalent for npx. Okay. Well, if the package lock comes back, maybe we'll switch strategies, but this feels good for now. Control enter to commit, and then drop and push. Okay. We can confirm that this was just updated now. We can go over to Supabase. Boop, move that guy back some. I don't really need you right now. I don't see any tables, so I'm slightly surprised by that. npx Prisma Studio over here. I'm going to open a new bash so I can Prisma Studio and run my server in parallel. So here's another bash, and then we will open it inside of Starboi. ls cd Starboi. And then here, let's yarn dev. I think it's kind of premature to, that would kick off the server. So this has post and, so yeah. So this has two tables. This is Prisma Studio. Welcome to Prisma Studio. Post and user. I got two tables. So that's looking good. The discrepancy might arise because Prisma Studio might be inspecting my local Prisma schema, while for some reason the remote is unaware. That would be bad, but it's possible. Okay. We're going to close this. I don't think I need it. Bye, bye. Okay. Bye, bye, bye. So I think we're doing good. Don't need this real-time thing. Oh, I'm going to start up, though. That was pretty cool, wasn't it? Good job, Supabase. Okay, you're occasionally using this. Great. Okay, we did that. See the following output. Now in sync with your schema. Let's see. Did I see it? No. I did not see it. Let me kill this. Control C to kill it. Windows kind of sticks sometimes. Your database is now in sync with your schema. So I did see it before it ran Prisma generate. I think that's good enough. I think that's good enough. So let's go ahead and proceed. Next, npx Prisma Studio. That's funny. Yeah, so I did use the interface to create new user and post. Well, maybe it's a good thing that it's stuck, huh? Hopefully it doesn't stick and break and be like in a zombie state. Yeah, okay, great. Zombie Prisma, welcome to the club. I'm going to terminate this bash. We have this other bash going, and we are going to npx Prisma Studio, this one. Hey, by the way, did you notice it said post? Because I didn't call it anecdote. Might be. Okay, npx Prisma db push. Let's sync that anecdote. Post is neither built in. Whatever. Where is this error occurring? Line 35. Line 35. Okay, great. So a user doesn't have posts. A user has anecdotes. I'm pretty sure post is going to be used somewhere in this project. So this is in the scope of rock Starboi, files to include. Great news. It's not used anywhere. I think we haven't gotten that far in the code. So we do anecdotes. Cool. This will be feed call post anecdote. Let's like rename. Push that. Let's go. Try and speed it up at this point. Okay, got the studio going. We are going to add a user here. Yeah, so the user can be me. Add record. Name. John. Email. This is my public email. Feel free to email me. Great. Save one change. So now it doesn't work, huh? Why did it default to now if now it doesn't work? Okay. Save that. Let's make an anecdote. Add record. Action. Filleted the fish. John. See, it brings up that foreign table. I like that look. Okay. Right? Okay, it seems to be working. I don't really know. Okay, created at. I guess I should just like not touch that field whenever that's going on. Content. Ate the worm. Employer. Microsystems. ID. Are we not auto-incrementing the anecdotes? Yeah, it says auto-increment. Why didn't you pre-populate that one, dog? Notes. N-A. Obstacle. Stubbed my toe with a W. Yes. Published. True. It is published. I think result won the Olympics. Situation was having built throwing stones, swimming like Phelps at Olympics. Nope, that's the task, sorry. Swimming like Phelps at Olympics. Situation in Chinese Olympics. Title. The time I won the Olympics. Okay. Think we're good. Let's save it. Now we have Prisma client error. So the ID is the concern? Okay. So let me clear it out, and maybe it's not happy with it cleared out. Required fields must not be null. Default auto increment. ID is an integer, so why can I not be 1? Why can it not be 1? Failed to commit changes, invalid, anecdote create, invocation, play the fish. Why? Why is it invalid? Prisma guys. Code undefined. Well, this is not good. I think I have to, I think I have to redo this whole field. Yeah, it just says auto increment like that. Okay. So that was the party foul. Okay, well, if Prisma is watching, and they're not, I know they're not watching, but it would be cool if touching the field screws it up like that. Maybe you like somehow prevent me touching the field. Okay, action. Kick rocks. This is John. Got the ID, and now it's pre-populated. Leave it alone. Content. Anecdote content. I'm just going to call it content. Employer. Freebird. Okay, and I tabbed over and it did it. Dang. Super annoying. Super annoying. Let's try it again. Kick rocks. Content. Anecdote content. Employer. Jimmy Neutron. Not gonna tab. Let's go to notes. He was having anxiety at the time. Obstacle. Ferris wheel. Ferris wheels everywhere. Ferris wheels everywhere. Published. True. Result. I won the Olympics. Situation. Fought Olympians. I wrestled a bear once. If you get that, then you're a winner. the time I won the Olympics. Okay, there's updated that, and I think we're good. Woo! All right, we did it. Proof by example. It's those pre-populated fields. If you touch them, they get dirty, they go to null, the world ends. Okay. Anecdotes automatically updated. I don't have to reassociate it. That's great news. I'm happy with this database at this moment. We got all those. Now install and generate Prismaclient. This already ran, but we'll run it again just because, like, whoa, oh yeah. We'll run it again just because they told me to, but like this already ran. Starboi. Okay. So while that's running, let's preview the next steps. We already got this. Let's verify that it already exists, but it does though. Yep, there it is, 2291. Generate Prismaclient. Everyone is happy, the world is great. Okay. So now we're going to create the Prismaclient file. So this Vercel is recommending we make a directory that is called lib, L-I-B, for a library. Love that idea. And so we'll do this from the top level of the application folder. I can just drop this literally. Bam. Yeah, now I have an empty prisma.ts. Great. Love Control-C, Control-V, baby. Let's ride. So you are mad. Property Prisma does not exist, and you're mad about it. Updating the existing views to load data from the database. Let Prismaclient. So it's aware of Prismaclient. Global. We don't like global. Excusez-moi. Okay, took me a while to figure this one out, but finally found a solution. I added this to the same file. Adding it to my types didn't work for some reason. Okay, so they just declared the global within Node.js. You can use the following TypeScript code. If it's in production, do a Prismaclient else. Nope, don't like it. So the error comes depending on the global context. If you're in Node.js, the global context is, I think it's like process. I think it's called process. If you're in the window, like if you're in a browser in Chrome, the global process is called window or document. And so those are different interfaces. They have a different property set. And so this solution just like says, hey, I have this new property called Prisma. For those using Node 16.1.x, commented 4 days ago. This seems straightforward. I don't know. var feels wrong, but okay, we can try it. So here we're going to let Prisma, but here we're going to declare global var Prisma. So let Prisma feels like the better thing to do, but it's giving me type errors. Declare. I'm gonna go with this, and I'm just gonna rough it. Okay, so we're gonna go with the var approach. I'll ref the commented one too. Your mileage may vary by team. A lot of teams won't like all those comments that I just did, but that's fine. Okay, update the existing views to load data from the database. Pages index, love it. Now we're rolling. Note, that is Latterly. That is a different project. Rock, bam, fuzzy type. And you can just hit enter and it'll take you to the top highlighted result. So that's how you can be pro and be wicked fast like that. Import Prisma from, great. I can drop this anywhere. I'll just drop it right here. Control-Shift-P. TSI sort imports, sorts it for me. So I don't have to care about like putting it in the right place. Extensions, this is kind of unrelated, but I just thought about it. I was on TikTok and VS Code has an official TikTok, by the way, which proves that they're the best IDE because they're on TikTok. And I saw them demo tab out, which seems really cool. So I'm going to add it now. Changes the way your tab key works. So, like if you hate that, then, you know. Okay, it's not working for me. Yeah, it's supposed to tab out. Let me restart my VS Code real quick. Boop. So we did that, and next we are going to do the things, get static props. Okay. Do the things with the keyboard. Hit me up on Spotify album dropping as soon as you give me money, basically. So here we are going to await the Prisma post find many. That sounds great to me. Feed. Here's feed. Here's feed. So we're overwriting this. Great. We need to change post to anecdote. No bigs. No bigs. Oh yeah, when I crushed VS Code, I crushed this. So do we yarn dev? Not quite yet. Not quite yet. There are two things to note about the client query. I'm going to skip through this because to me it's like pretty straightforward, but you can, you know, if that's confusing, you can go check it out. Before running the app, head over to this page. It's a weird syntax, right? But this is the next way of doing things. The file name has brackets. The file name has an embedded implicit syntax. You know what? Implicit's the wrong word. It's an embedded syntax, but it's explicit. Just like I was writing an express route. It's explicit. It's right there. So it's not like it's implicit or magic or hidden or obfuscated or indirect. It's quite clear. It's in the file name. You put the route in the file name. It's kind of funky, but once you get used to it, you're like, yo, this slaps, at least in my opinion. It's like, why am I even making a file just to write a route syntax? I can just put it in the file name. It's like, it's actually a really cool solution, I think. Like before, you need to import the Prismaclient. Yep, great. Cool. I need to add prettier pretty soon because my code is getting less prettier pretty rapidly. Actually, it's not. I have some prettier default that is kind of popping, but you see the double quote? I want a single quote. Anyway. So npm run dev, they're doing npm. We're going to capitulate to the README. So I'm going to rm my yarn lock. README says, dog, don't argue with the README. I'm going to npmi real quick just so I can get a package lock back because I killed it. I'm going to do one commit, just the package lock all by itself. I'm going to say change locks. Stage my yarn deletion. and I'm going to sip some water. Computers can be really slow. Don't get it twisted. People are talking about they're going to take over. Not anytime soon, dude. Spend a lot of time waiting on these computers. Whoa, text message, Twitter notification, people doing things on TikTok. Retweeted by Web Dev Vibes. Thank you, Web Dev Vibes. I'm going to take 2 seconds and look at you. Oh, it's a bot. Whatever. It's chill. Cool. Hey, if you have any comments or questions, drop it. It can be this is Next.js, which is a framework on top of React. You can drop a React question, drop a Next question, drop a programming, how do I code, get a job, anything related to tech, IT, programming. Feel free to drop the question. And I'm trying to get to some Redux hooks before we wrap up today. So we'll see. Got about 30 more minutes. Great. So there's change locks. Push that. Queries updated. We're grabbing anecdotes. We're just grabbing them barehanded. And it's time to run the app. Compiled successfully. It's what I like to see. Here's 3 files. VS Code reports 4 changes. I have a different repository for my bookmarks. So I suspected that was the delta, and that was right. Bro, I'm so bored. Computer, work. I don't have like a lack of memory and stuff. So this is my gaming computer. It's Windows. I know. Begin your hate speech. I love coding on Mac. But I stream from my PC. Because like I don't personally own a Mac. My wife has a Mac. I don't like to muck with her stuff, you know, keep it separated. She has her own Steam account and whatever. It's just really inconvenient if we're like trying to share a computer. Okay, let's see if it's working. It's literally taking this long. So anyway, oh, yikes. Object date cannot be serialized as JSON. Pretty sure this is a common issue in Next, but it doesn't feel like a common issue in Prisma. Date is serialized to a string, and then on the client side would cause a hydration error as date is expected to be a date object in most cases. Temporary workaround is to cast the date type as a string. Cast. Where, when, why, how. To remedy this, we do a serialization check only during development. So I understand what they're saying the issue is. This is an issue in props, like getting static props. But the solution is not really clear to me. They want to cast it to a string. Where and how? Okay, let me check for another article. Where and how do I cast it to a string? How to deal with date type. You know what? Code Greg. Thank you, Code Greg. I don't know who you are, but this is the kind of blog article title that lets me know I'm in the right place. I'm gonna go follow your Twitter real quick. Bro, look at that clipping at the bottom. Just add some padding. This is a microsite recording small personal wins. Almost like a blog, but smaller. Cool. I'm not seeing your Twitter, man. It doesn't look like your website. Is that your website? All right. Well, I tried to follow you, Greg, but it's not going to happen here. And I can't heart it either. And I can't. Okay. Let's just read it. If you're using Next, you're probably using get static props, huh? Or get server side props. Yuh. Ugh. You might be awaiting Prisma. Boo, sheesh. You'll get an error. This is all facts. Literally, I was just here. Is Greg me? Am I Greg? Are we the same person in an alternate timeline? We're each other's dyslexic versions, because he says tiny wins home. I would say tiny homes win. You know? Like, I'm a fan of tiny homes. And okay, anyway. I ended up installing a package, SuperJSON Next and SuperJSON, and a babelrc file. Should also note here, you could fix this manually by handling each date type in your getStaticProps method. You could map over each returned object and convert the date to a string before returning that array. I kind of would, yeah, prefer to do that. This feels like an epic cheat code. I just wonder, they're saying safe. Is it safe? They're saying it's safe. Okay. I'm gonna trust you. Don't you screw me on this, SuperJSON. Okay, let's do this. That might be why the starter didn't have any anecdote date objects on the field. Like, it was missing created and updated date, and I was like kind of surprised by that. So this explains it. It's just SuperJSON, right? I better not get hacked because I installed the wrong package. npm I. SuperJSON. Cool, we're good. They have their own parse function. Boo. But I don't have to explicitly invoke it, I think, because I can use Babel, plugin, SuperJSON, next. Let me check Npm Trends on this guy and make sure that it's not trash. Okay. This is not reassuring. It was trending up and now it's trending down. CI failing. Under version 1. I'm gonna still go for it. We're in this deep. Cause I'm in too deep and I'm trying to keep I'm pretty sure if you try to install the save package, that's a great way to get hacked, because that's like people installing it on accident. All right. Up above in my head, instead of going under. You're welcome. Babel RC file. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm going to touch .babel RC. I'm going to vim it. And I'm going to control V. It looks like I copied that string incorrectly. Ets. Okay, D. Whoa. Escape. D. Control Q, don't save. Control Q, exclamation point, without save. Vim it again. I to insert, Control V. I'm going to test in Notepad++. Yeah, okay, that's my true clipboard. So it's not copying all that jazz. I don't know what the dealio is. Escape. Control Q, escape. Let's try it again. Redid my clipboard just for these presets. Escape, Control WQ to save it. Write and quit. WQ. Okay. And then I'm going to vim it again just to make sure it's stuck. There it is. And VS Code has this cool Babel RC icon. Thanks, guys and gals. So now, let's see. Now that I did all this stuff, is it just npm start? It can't just be that easy, can it? Could not find a valid build. What a versal dev. Let's do a versal dev. Set up and develop this. Yeah. Duh. I think it's not an existing project. Let me check Versal. This is my Versal dashboard. Yeah, this is a new guy. Capital N for nah, bro. Well, this is awkward because the repo starts at the parent directory. But I'm going to say that deployment app. Okay. npm run build or next build. Want to override the settings? No, those look good. Running next dev port. Yeah. Can I use light is outdated? I'm going to do a separate commit to update that guy, but I should do that. Let me grab this. So I did a right click if that wasn't obvious. I left click, drag, right click, and that will pin it on your clipboard. Go over to my, on the other window I have like Notepad++ that I use for things, notes to self, whatnot. So I just pasted that so I don't forget to run that momentarily. So this generation step is like not fast. Oh well. So oh, no git repository connected. That's bad news bears. I'm gonna kill this. Sorry. That's bad news bears. I want this to be imported from GitHub. So I'm gonna delete this. Yeah, I thought for some reason it would be able to know that it's from my GitHub, but I guess that's expecting too much. Delete project. Delete. We'll get there soon enough. Let's just try an npm run dev. cool. Check this out, Hacker Typer. If you want to troll somebody, just do this. You can look like you're a real hacker. There's like a, what is it, F10? F11 for full screen. Can y'all see this? Are you seeing full screen right now? I'm hacking your service. Get hacked, noob. Get hacked. Get owned. Alright, cool. So that's a fun party trick. At least the parties I go to it is. So is Next done building now? Whoa, it's the slowest ever. Boop. Okay, here's my anecdote. That's really cool. Yeah, so I guess it just didn't pop my browser open and I just wasted a bunch of our time. Sorry about that. So here we are going to do in 2 steps. So we're going to chore super JSON. Okay. And then we are going to integrate into feet, F-E-A-T for feet, integrate Prismaclient. So I may be a little bit frustrated because I feel like I should be able to log in by now, but we've actually made a good deal of progress. We were several commits deep. And you can see how I Google, flawless Googling, if I do say so myself. Okay, got npm run dev. Now we need Next Auth. Now we're getting to the juicy juice. You ever drink some juice and you're like, man, this is juice, but it's not juicy juice, you know? It's late. And juicy juice. If I wasn't a software developer, I would actually be the School of Rock. Dang, I'm so tired I can't think of his name. Jack Black. Yeah. If I wasn't a software developer, I would actually be Jack Black. So, I should probably quit my job. And start singing for money, but also be a comedian about it, so I can get away with being mediocre. That guy slaps on guitar, no lie. Have y'all ever seen the toy saxophone? This is so great, so great.
Jack, I've seen you. We talked. I've seen you in concert. I've seen you perform. Please go see Nextjs in concert.
Saxoboom is
People confuse
Saxoboom.
Well, you know, because they look similar, but a saxoboom is its own kind of instrument that takes years to master. But yeah, thank you for remembering about my saxoboom days.
Well, I was just wondering if we happen to have one here, could you maybe just show us what it's like to?
You don't have a sax. Oh my God!
It's a toy saxophone. It's called a saxophone.
Are you kidding?
Whoa! It's a toy saxophone. It's called a saxophone. I have no idea what my brain just did.
The magic, the way, could you give us a little taste?
Here it is. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, mother. Out. 1, 2, 3.
It's so good. Okay, cool. I'm gonna chill. All right. We've installed Nextjs. Crap, I just hit the forbidden button. I opened LaTeX. Okay, that was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Okay. You need to change your database schema to add missing tables that are required by Nextjs. I am so glad. I'm so glad that they just have this. Look, they just have it. America. God bless. How many places would you have to reference to go get that stuff? Maybe just one. And I would fail to see it. I'd fail to see it. I would sprawl around Google to and fro. Clueless. Utterly clueless. Cool. Shred that command line, dog. Format this. Package JSON Y Nextjs. Great. Okay. Push the DB. Great. While that runs, I think we're gonna have to update some UI code. Oauth time. Let's go. Did you open a new tab? You opened my same tab. Party foul, bro. Party foul. Excuse me. I'm dying. Okay. Okay. Fine. Fine. So I guess maybe I need to register 2 OAuth tokens. One is for my local host, and then one is for the remote, because I want to go to Vercel and have like this URL. So maybe I need 2 tokens the way we're setting this up. But so that's the callback. That's great. If Nextjs wants a callback like that, I am so happy to support you. You're supporting me. Can I just support you? Because you're supporting me. Next.js blogger. It says homepage is prisma.io. That's weird, right? Is it just like a BS whatever? Doesn't matter. Okay. I'm going to anticipate that it is Starboi, like so. And localhost 3000 API auth. This is sounding good. Cool. I think I might be getting a secret, so I'm going to take that off page. Generate new client secret, yeah. Okay. So, and I'm going to take this off page because I have to expose my env file. I'm going to Control P, type the word future, type env. And nothing comes up because it's in my git ignore, so Control P skips it. So I'm going to do Control P. Oh, I shouldn't be looking at future anyway. I should be looking at Rockstar. And then I will type package, go to my package.json, because I know that my env file is a sibling. With that open, I'm not sure what I'm telling you is going to make sense. Sorry. Basically, in VS Code, when your file's open, there is some breadcrumbs at the top of your file, and you can click to folders which are in that breadcrumb, and it will drop down files that are contained in that folder. And so package.json is in the right folder, so I click its parent folder, and I can click to the env file right there. It's just like a quick way to navigate over there. Ooh, foobar. Foobar, you dig? So these are the key names that I need. I'll take the comment too. It's a good comment. Why not? Cool. But the values are not the same, believe it or not. How crazy would that be if these ones that he put on the page, or she, whoever wrote this article, how crazy would it be if those literals worked? That would be nuts. I'd be like, dude, I'm hacking you so hard right now. I don't even know how to hack correctly, and I'm hacking you right now. Because you literally dropped your secrets and then you never updated them. Okay. That's it, right? Yeah, then we're changing UI code. So my env file is crispy. And I don't need this GitHub page anymore. I'll refresh it. It's partially secreted. It's only partially secreted, so I'm gonna just close it. I wanted to kind of show you, but anyway, you saw how I got there, right? This is great. Now, let's go to the header. Do y'all like this react.fc way of doing it? Like, check this out. Pretty sure that they still know. Oh, it thinks it's a JSX element. I guess react.fc is a, yeah, it's a better type. So this is the .next cache. I'm going to start ignoring this. .next / cache. So the slash can go either direction, and the filter understands. It's kind of crazy. I would expect like one direction to work and not the other. Chill. I'm gonna leave it like that, because that is how the Linux do. Wow. Nope. Okay, we are in the header. Forbidden button. Okay. We just replaced the whole file. Isn't that great? How big is this file? This should be like multiple components, eh? Am I Canadian? What's going on? Where am I? So we can see the green is the delta. So there's like a lot of code just got added. Lit. It looks like a bunch of it is CSS. So I throw no shade on this convention. Inline style tag that has the JSX right there. Boom, boom. I'm happy with it. Okay. And for JSX, I'm down for inline style. Hit me if you want. I wouldn't do that in HTML. Not in my life. But JSX is different. Built different. Did I get a quick refresh? I legit don't know. I was not paying attention to the top right corner. Did that just appear when I hit F5, or was it already there? You know what? Whatever. That didn't work. Okay, we're going to build a new page, yeah? Here's an overview of how the header is going to render. No user. Cool. So now we're going to make the Next Auth endpoint. This is needed. So the back end knows about authentication. The front end doesn't even know. So this is getting exciting. I know, if you don't know how the codes are, you might not be excited. But this is exciting stuff. I want to verify my breadcrumb here. Starboi Pages API Auth current. Pages API Auth current. That looks good. Okay. Prisma adapter. Is that a built-in? They're not telling me to npm install anything, so I guess it's a built-in with. Yep, Next Auth providers. I think it's a built-in, huh? Okay. Once the code is added, you can navigate to the sign-in page and sign in with GitHub. This is the bee's knees. Sign in with GitHub. Sign in with GitHub! Whoa, that was bad. That did not work. If you click it, you're forwarded to GitHub where you can authenticate. Stop the app and rerun it. Okay. The old restart. Aha, I see what you did there. Whoa. The old restart. Whoa. My command line did not stick at all that time. That was kind of surprising. Next auth environment variable is not set, right? I think it is. Let me double check. Yep. Next auth. What's it called? Okay, well what it's called in my env file is nextauth_URL, so hopefully that is as desired. And yeah, it makes sense because the last time I ran the process and it would have loaded environment variables into memory at that time I had yet to define that environment variable. So that makes sense why it'd be broken. Let's go back. I'm going to it says compiled successfully. I don't know if I believe it. I'm going to right click, empty cache, and hard reload. Okay. Favicon not found. We need a favicon. That did the trick. Full access. Yo, I'm about to get hacked. That's confusing, man. Error. Oauth account not linked. Oh. Okay, I think the reason being, I'm not sure about this, but I think the reason being, they're legit checking my email, which I fooed up. This is a good email for me, but it's not my GitHub, for my GitHub account. So yeah, and if you look, this guy, Malman, I think that's his GitHub email. So that's my theory. I don't care. I don't care if you know my GitHub email. I mean, I think I made it public, right? I think it's just my Gmail. Oh, okay. This is the one I made public. Fine, I will hide my real one. I really don't care if you know it. I think some people know it. It's pretty elite. It's a pretty elite email address, not gonna lie. Failed to commit. Is Studio currently running? You may need to restart it. Okay. No sweat. Close that. Let's go back to local host root. Empty cache hard reload. Over here, we're going to rename this pub. Rename Prisma. This is my Prisma console. Bam, 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 bam. I'm going to restart that Prisma Studio. Pull that off screen. I don't know, they might know my real username. Woo! I don't care. Save was effective that time. Okay? The save was effective that time. I might need to restart npm run dev on the other terminal. We'll see. I'm going to initially not do that. Empty cache and hard reload. Sign in with GitHub. Sign in with GitHub. Try signing in with a different account. Something feels bad. Alright, cool. Come over here, right click, empty cache and hard reload. Come over here, kill this. Did you mean name available args? Unknown arg image and data.image for type user. Rockstar schema. It feels good to type Rockstar schema. Yo, you got that Rockstar schema? All right. Name and email. So we're gonna add a field, which is image. It's gonna be a optional string. I think technically that should be unique, but anyway, we'll leave it. npx prisma db push should regenerate and sync that schema there, right there. There's the generate, poppin', poppin', poppin'. Let's run dev again. Hey, thanks to anybody who's watching. I appreciate your viewership, my peoples. I would encourage you to find me on TikTok. My handle is @JohnVanDeveer. I'll bring it on screen real quick. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so that I can live stream to TikTok. So here you go, @JohnVanDeveer, like so. This is my channel. This, yeah, these numbers are not representative. My views pop off overnight for some reason. So yeah, if you scroll a bit down, there's like hundreds of views. I posted a lot today, so the views are light on the ones that I've like posted recently. How long ago did I post this? Hey, do you want to learn to code? Do this one thing right now. So yeah, I might drop one more before I go to sleep tonight. Okay. Cool. Compiled successfully. Gonna empty that cache, reload again. Sign with GitHub again. And now it works. And it says John at afterecon.com. What? It's like really wrong. It's something. So I updated my data and the system is aware of it, but the UI string is like unaware of it. That's weird. Let me check Studio. What's it on? 5555? Whoa, it says I have 2 users now. Whoa. I'm tripped out. So I guess that is the email that I used for GitHub. Good to know. If y'all have any questions, feel free to email me at that address at any time. That is my website, afterecon.com. Peep the blog. Peep it. P-E-E-P. Weird. So I'm going to reassociate. I'm going to drop my database record, the other one. Delete it. And I think you're safe to see this now. Boom. We'll save that. Okay. FML. Well, anyway. Reassociate this to the other. And now it's reassociated. Updates. Great. Boom. I think it live refreshed without me doing the things, but here we go. Here's my page P1. P, really? You could say page. It's not that hard. Or post. I'm going to change that right now. That irritates me so bad. Okay, so this will be beat init auth. Guys, we have auth. Y'all, we have auth. So hype. Let's go over here. This is called P. We're going to rename to anecdote. Okay. see how quickly you can redo all that jazz. Oh no, it's broken. P1 could not be found. Refresh. Bam. Good. It's like a really broad. Okay, it's still down there. Bam. Anecdote. Cool. We're reconnected, that easy, and now it actually has an intelligible route URL. Pretty URL. Kind of want to like rename this whole component. Anyway, that's extra. Cool. So we have basic authentication. Let's check back with the tutorial, but at this point I want to push it out to Vercel. Okay. Oh, create. Okay, sure. I mean, if you're gonna hook me up that quickly, let's do it. Bash Prisma. So this will be rename terminal. This will be server. This is Prisma, and we'll have another one that is called Scratch. That is just for miscellaneous bash commands like this touch command. Bam, create that. Click it, double click it to solidify the temporality of the page. I'm sure there's a better term I could use that for, ephemerality. Basically, like if you don't double click that thing, then it could like go away. Okay, so we save that. How about a layout page? Whoa, can't submit data. To do, you will implement this next. Ha! Get it next? It's late. Okay. Makes sense to me. I need to go like give this guy a high five and such. Okay, here's our post. Yep. So this is going to allow the client to have an endpoint with which to make the things. So it's using await Prisma post. We don't need Redux in this case. I was trying to demonstrate hooks, but we're just not needing them. You know? Switch that post out to an anecdote. We just don't need hooks in this case because it's server-side rendered. It's kind of awkward, man. I was trying to teach people how to use hooks, and like we don't need hooks. Okay, this code implements the handler function. Yes, it does. It's like a thing that Next endpoints need. So okay, we can do a quick demo. Hey, new post button. Boop. My face is so worth mentioning. It okay. Create. Drafts not found. Do you troll me, dude? Okay, now you're gonna make. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? No, you're fine. You're helping me so much. I'm not mad at all. So we are actually cooking with gas and moving along pretty quickly because these pages are largely code drops, right? To make this code work, you also need to make a quick change in your application's root file. One thing that I like about Next is that the root file is like unambiguous. It's like, this is the root file, dude. All the Next people know about the root file. And it just exports app. This is not the only framework that does that. There are other frameworks that do that. Oh. I hear my back pop. I don't know if that was loud enough for you to hear. It felt awesome. I do believe in chiropractors. Anyway, in the React ecosystem, it's like, oh, React's so unopinionated. We don't have strong, like, Conventions. That's like an Angular thing. It's not a React thing. Whoa. I kind of like, you know, not forcing in all cases, but there's a lot of value for Next having strong conventions. And then if you don't want those conventions, go use React without Next. Great. But if I'm going into a framework like Next, I enjoy the strong conventions in a fully featured framework. Again, no shade to React itself. I actually appreciate that you can parse out React and use it alone in a different way as you see fit. So I appreciate the diversity and the multiplicity of options. We're making a lot of stuff. Publish ID TS, Control V, publish ID TS. There it is. Control V, Control S. That was blazing, dude. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you think. So I renamed this file, so I'm going to Control P and not find it. Whoa. Okay, it fuzzy typed on the P for publish that time. Anecdote, there it is. I'm going to rename. Let me check if we have prisma.post anywhere. Yeah, so here's a couple places. Anecdote. Anecdote. Excuse me. So we are updating the file with this. Good thing that I didn't change all of the post over to anecdote, like from the component naming perspective, because I'd have to do all that again. This code adds the publish post function. Yep. Yes, indeed, it does. So there is a waiting fetch. So here is some asynchronous juice. It's going to be on click. This is kind of trippy to me, to be honest with you. Because in React, usually the function is inside of the component context. Here, that it's outside of the component context. And in this case, I understand why it's outside of the component context, because it can be. Is that a pure function? I guess it's a pure function. It doesn't need state from the component. We're passing it ID. ID is a piece of state, is it not? Use session is a React hook. So the thing that's interesting to me here is because usually I would implement this, at least as far as using like create React app, I would implement my HTTP call behind Redux. So I would have my component would use the selector, and it would have a fetcher, where a fetcher is just a special kind of action, and then Redux supports all kinds of actions. But we know what a fetcher is. This is a fetch. You fetch with a fetcher. Fetch is a fetcher. So I have a selector, and then I dispatch my fetcher. That dispatch would technically call a thunk. The thunk would wrap fetch or Axios or whatever, but I use fetch. And that would get it into my store. That would get it into my store. And why is that useful? That's useful for like same reason the Angular service is useful. I see Redux, fight me on this if you want. I see Redux as like the React ecosystem implementation of an Angular service. I see Redux like that. In the Angular ecosystem, if you want application level state, you should use services. In fact, it's a bright line test in Angular. Why would you create a service when you need to share state across components? If your state only needs to be the local component, it doesn't make sense to create a service. You have it in the local component. As soon as you want to share stuff, that's when you need a service. That's what they're for. So I think I've gone between ecosystems to answer my question. why are we not using Redux here? And the answer is that this state, the result of published post, it's going to kick back a network result, which is abstract state. That doesn't need to be shared between components. And from a Next perspective, we're more page-oriented, right, than component-oriented. I don't know if that's a fair statement. I might have to take that back. My point being, there are multiple levels of abstraction. It might be the case within Next that I do need to share state across components, but as long as those components are scoped to a page, Redux still might not be necessary. So I think I would not call this a bright line test, but like a gray line test. And maybe if I'm clearer down the road, it will become a bright line test. For a state manager in Next would be that I need to share state across pages, not across components, but across pages. We have that use case currently. That would be authentication. Most of my pages need to know that I'm authenticated. Oh, surprise! We got a hook for that. So I don't need to use Redux hooks. So like use reducer, use dispatch, those are like hooks. Because it's being handled under the hood by use session. So that's a library handling that for me. So then Redux becomes extraneous. But something like authentication, where all the pages need to know. Either we could use a custom hook, which is what's being done here, or we could avoid a custom hook and use the hooks from Redux. That sounds right to me. I think, and I'm just speaking out loud to wrap my head around it alongside you. I think it's making sense. Okay. There's a Prisma.post. Let's swap it over to anecdote. That's because you're using static site generation. This is a really great note right here. If this is not in my README, it needs to be. Are they like all referring to it? Oh no, this is just my cache folder once again. Next server pages. I should just ignore the whole .next folder, I think. Yeah, I don't see what's under that folder that I would want to check in. Let's check the git ignore. Maybe I'm wrong on that. .next is not here. Do you check in your next folder? I don't think so. I'm gonna go with no. And I think the reason that git ignore doesn't have it so it has env and it has for cell. Okay. It doesn't have next. So how does, okay, because I have two git ignores. That's not great. I'd rather have one git ignore. So I'm going to consolidate that right now. Boop. Okay, go over here. See if I can delete that guy. Move to recycle bin. Refresh. files perceived as changed by VS Code. And there's no explosion in files, right? Just check for duplicates. So env is duplicated, so I think this is also. Yeah. I don't know why there's this convention, but I guess it is to comment like everything. So I'll add the comment. Let's respect convention, I guess. All right, so here's a minor feature, which is this is actually a chore. So a chore is like a change that doesn't affect users. That's an informal definition. We usually associate chores with DevOps, build-related things, file version control things, change release notes, release train things. So they're really not code changes. They're not features. They're also not tests. Test is its own thing. Changing git ignore is like a perfect example of a chore. So this is consolidate git ignores. Cool. Add delete functionality. That's going to be good. So we're basically creating a whole CRUD. Create, read, update, delete. This is the CRUD UI implementation. UI CRUD implementation. And because Prisma is our only client, we're chill. I'm still trying to wrap my own head around this. Like, I would be used to never invoking a fetcher. I'm considering Prisma client here to be a fetcher, or like an action basically. And I would never invoke an action directly in my component. I think that's just because like I'm so used to Redux right now. I think like if you take Redux out, like of course you invoke these things right in your component. Bruh, of course, bruh. Okay. Okay. Now we need to add delete post. So there's a delete post route now. Right below the publish post, they say. Okay, cool. Now you can follow a similar approach with the delete button as you did with the publish button, and remember it only if the user is authenticated. To achieve this, you can add this code directly in the return part of the post component, right below where the publish button is rendered. Cool, so here's publish post. We're going to Control-Shift-F, Control-V, enter. Pops up the search result where that code snippet is found. Here's this. We're going to take the second snippet, Control-C, and Control-V, our favorite combo. Yo, my guy has a typo in his code. He doesn't know it, but he does. Anyway, that's minor. Just extraneous semicolon. Okay. This is all good. You can now try out the new functionality, create new draft, and deploy to Vercel. We're finally getting there, right at the end. So let's test out this stuff. New post. I feel like eating a chicken wing, hot dogs, and bologna. Some of the CSS is less than chill. That's okay. That's not the point. We can spruce it up. Okay? This is great. Now I can go over here, Do you want to publish it? Let's publish it. I'm over here. Oh, there's no unpublish. Whatever. Let's delete it. Bam. My drafts. Feed drafts. Feed drafts. Over here. Oh, crazy. I made it earlier, but I didn't have the page to render it. But the data succeeded. Cool. So now I have feed drafts. Feed drafts. Click delete. Oh no, drafts are gone. Perfect. Love it, love it, love it. So I definitely want to commit this at this point. So this is the feature is UI CRUD. LGTM. Yep. Okay, so create another Oauth app on GitHub. Okay, great. This is what I was speculating earlier, and they're being very clear about it. They're saying create that other Oauth app that's going to respect your remote. We could call this like a dev environment. It's a remote. It's not my local host. I like that separation of concerns because when I was developing these other two projects, I like used the same callback and it would like bug and you'd have to like know how to fix it, and that's dumb. Okay. New project. Import Git repository. Starboi. Team name Skip. I'm not sure. I think I need to modify the root directory. So paste this in the im file in the root directory. Is what this says. Application root file as app.tsx. Okay, that's not the root directory, but one level up we could consider. Okay, which would be a second. So I think Starboi is the root, like /Starboi is the root directory. So maybe I'm ruining everything, but I'm going to click that and continue. What does it say, by the way? Select the directory where your source code is located to deploy monorepo, create separate projects for other directories in the future. I do like me a monorepo. Y'all can hate on that. Okay, so let's click. Do I actually need to put it? Because it's like putting this or that, and it's like, yeah, it's one of those. Why don't I just click deploy? Let's see. Let's see what it do. What it do? It's telling me to configure the project. Project name is Starboi. Yes. Deployment canceled. Framework preset is next. Root directory, we picked it. Yep. Okay, here's fetching source code. Cool, so while that goes on and on and on, let's refer back to our tutorial. I need to find, yeah, this was great. Epicness. And Nicholas Burke. That's weird though, right? Because the code said like Mohammed. But do I follow this guy already? Yeah, I already follow him. He is cool. Yeah, it's a cool guy. Prisma has like a conference annually. Vercel can do all this. He says copy it from your M file. Fair enough, but you can Vercel push. So we'll do that in a minute. Let's try to Vercel push. Oh no, it's like secrets. Vercel help. I think it's like secrets push. Vercel secrets list. I'm going to take this off page because I don't know if it drops values when I list. Vercel secrets list. Okay, cool. It only has the key names, but I am still going to keep it off screen because I feel like when I add it, it shows the value. Vercel inv pull. So I was confusing environment variables and secrets, but are they that different? Okay, maybe. The environment variables used when running your project locally. So I'm gonna try Vercel. The environment variable is applied to your next preview deployment. I'm going to just run Vercel and see what happens. I want the command line to recognize that it exists. Your project was either deleted, transferred, or you don't have access. Set up and deploy? Yes. Link to existing project? Yes. What's the name? Starboi. Project not found. Cancel. Vercel project list. Maybe Vercel list. Project Futurecaster laterally 2. So Vercel only knows about 2 projects. Is there link? Vercel update. Oh, did it just, it was never official? Okay, new project, yeah, it was never official. Import, skip. I don't think I need to deploy it to make it official, dudes. Next. Edit, yeah, continue. So they're saying you can't even make it official until it works. So I have to basically fix all these things. Boo, bad, boo, bad. Because I wanted to use the command line to transfer secrets. Okay. Can I at least dump them? I gotta add them one by one. Foo bar. Alright, I was trying to avoid this. At this point it's only 4, so much to do about nothing, I suppose. But anyway, that command line's really cool when you can use it. And if I started up a fresh computer, you can Vercel inv pull, and it'll grab those secrets. Because transferring secrets between computers and between different people on a team is a pain point, right? what I'm doing is I'm moving all the secrets over here. So here's the database URL. Successfully added. Here is the GitHub ID. It's like the local host GitHub ID. So I should not even tell them about the local host GitHub ID. I should tell them in this interface. Okay, you can't see my secrets. So look, this interface, that should be encoded or like masked. So this interface, I can't specify what environment I'm referring to. In the normal interface you can. So let me show you one of my other projects. So here's like laterally, or I'll do FeatureCaster. Settings, environment variables. You see, I can control which environment. And development includes my local machine. That's how they do. And then preview is the early remote environment. It's like non-prod remote. Other teams would call that like dev or stage or test, something like that. And then prod's prod. Okay, cool. All right, that was fun. So let's close this, leave that open, bring this back over here, and 3 more to go. But I gotta actually create the new GitHub token because I can't discriminate between dev and preview. So I'm gonna go to settings, go to developer settings, right? Oauth apps, yeah. New Oauth app. This will be called Starboi dash preview. Homepage URL. Cool. Register that application. Here's the new client ID. The key name is GitHub ID. We call it the GitHub ID. Okay. So let's add that. So we have the GitHub ID and the GitHub secret. Top secret! You can never know. Unless you hack me, then you will know. Generate new secret. Yachty, got it. Add that. Just making sure I got no space characters at the end. Sometimes I get these trailing space characters and it ruins my life. Okay, cool. None. Good, good, good. Hide, hide, hide. So we have GitHub secret, GitHub ID, database URL. There was one more. Next auth URL. That's not even a secret. So I can show you all this at this time. So the other one, boo, I have to change that now, sorry. Alright, let me revoke that. Okay, close that tab. Now let me bring this on screen. Okay, here we go. Next auth URL is the remaining key name, and the value this time is /auth/app, I think, /API/auth. And change this to Starboi, and double check GitHub Oauth. Here is our Starboi preview, and API auth. Cool. Let's try deploy. Npm run build failed. All right, let's see what's up. Is npm run build failing for me? It might just be because of those dates. Yeah, I have no idea what this is. Unwrap tuple. The user is using a TypeScript version that's less than 4.1. Okay, what is my TypeScript version? Okay. Since the latest 4.3.5, okay. Let's just go straight for it. What could go wrong? Oh, and we did have it to do to update another package anyway, so let's go ahead and do that. Freeze my super JSON version. Honestly, freeze all the versions, yeah? This version of React is behind. Man, it's fine. Okay. So yeah, this would be another chore, is bumping TypeScript version and freezing other versions. Prisma is not defined. Build error occurred, Prisma is not defined. Let me double check the review on here. Cool. This app uses the following seed starter skeleton reference apps. Was initialized with inspiration from the following seed starter skeleton reference sources. So they're not all actual apps. Sometimes README is considered a chore. Other times README has its own prefix, README, or docs README is another one. that looks good there, but I feel like in the past when I upload to GitHub, it jams it into a paragraph unless I do this. Okay, so we got that, but the reference error is still not fixed. Close a bunch of these tabs. Cool. I think this gets around a lot of the caveats. Getting Prismaclient to work. Not sure how it works. So that's a serverless concern, so we're going to skip on that. I just did node m equals production yard and fix it. Okay. If it's complaining about npx Prisma Studio, but it's not. It's complaining about Prisma on the drafts page. Let's go to the drafts page and make sure that I'm importing Prisma. Okay, I am. From here, here it is. Here's Prismaclient. Prisma's right here. Is it because I'm declaring global? Okay, so I think this declaration is technically not initializing anything. I think I could cheat and as any, but I don't want to do that. Yeah, right? This is just a type declaration. Statements are not allowed in ambient context. So this is an ambient context. So this declares Prisma exists as a global property. This is what we're declaring. If the node env is production, Prisma is a Prismaclient. Otherwise, if there is no Prisma, Prisma is a Prismaclient. Otherwise, Prisma is the global Prisma. Yep. That is the difference there. So, dang, this is gonna have shadowing? I don't think so. It is shadowing. It's like intentional shadowing. Okay. That's how I understand it. I mean, y'all can tell me if you understand it differently. To me, it looks like this is intentional shadowing. Let's see if that fixes it. More water. Okay. I'm getting buzzed. I'm not sure about what. So we're declaring it. So how can you say that it doesn't exist? You didn't say that it doesn't exist here. You said that it doesn't exist there. Do I have to do this everywhere? I should not have to do this everywhere. It's from 2 years ago. May not be relevant. May not be relevant. May not be relevant. This is from June 2021. Wonderful. So this is newer than my tutorial. So this is a MySQL connection. That has a typo, red flag. Prisma, new Prisma client. So you would think the author of the other article would be aware of this. Prisma, new Prisma client. Here, we are trying to initialize it once. Fetch data at build time while we use the Prisma client to perform queries to our DB. They're doing this within a use effect. Prisma client is unable to be run in the browser. Cool. They're just developing a whole new app. This is not what I want to do. This is not what I want to do. I'm simply surprised that they just declare Prisma apparently in every page. Maybe that's what I need to do. So let's go to the straps page. Here we are. Import Prisma from this. So this is like this makes sense. This is a client configuration file. You configure the client in one place, you import it wherever you need it. This makes sense. So something here is getting goofed. So why can I not just say, if not global Prisma, process env node is production. Can I not just say this? Maybe this was like an old thing that you used to have to handle in Prisma and you don't have to anymore. Crossing my fingers on that one. So we're just going to say const Prisma. We're just going to do that. We're to see if it can roll. Can you roll, baby? Can you roll? Hurry up and break. Well, you're not going to break? It was that easy? Okay, so it seems like previously there was some handling that just isn't necessary anymore thanks to updates in the TypeScript compiler, Next, and Prisma. So we got this pretty clean boy. Guess and check, baby. Sometimes that's what it comes down to. Okay. This is chore. Oh golly. Yeah, the drafts thing is chore sort ts imports. Well, this stream is definitely taking longer than I intended, but I think we're getting somewhere. And this is fix. This is a fix. Prisma client. Prisma client fix. That's what it is. Okay. I'm gonna push it all up. Push it, push it, push it, push it. Hey. I'm tired, y'all. Okay, so that's pushing. Let's come over here and try to build again. Fetching source code afresh. Skipping build cache, thank you. Got some followers on Twitter, that's great. So far so good. Trade with Brian started following me. Yeah, I dropped a crypto vid. I don't do too much crypto, but I dropped this crypto vid. Got a couple new followers off of it that are like finance people. That's pretty cool. Let's go. Let's go. Normally I would turn up more, but I'm just tired. Cool. So we imported, go to the dashboard, Starboi Versal app. That's the one I want. Give me that. Log in. Are you kidding me? It works. What? This works. This is such a great pausing point. I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead. What was my goal here? Get it deployed. Get it deployed and get Auth working. Yo, we achieved our goal. Thank you for being here. What do I look like? Let me check. Oh, I'm like slumped. Yes, I am slumped. I'm going to just own it. Sometimes you got to just slump and own it. Have a great day. Follow me on Twitter for like little more concise little bites. Follow me on TikTok for the same thing, little bites. If you follow me on Twitter, whenever I stream, it like blasts out a tweet. My streaming provider does, and it's like, hey, John's going live, and so you get the real-time notification. You can join me. Make sure I don't have any chats before I leave. None that I see. So, thanks for tuning in. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on TikTok. Let's get the TikTok numbers up, and I can go live on there, and I can really serve that community. You'd be surprised how big, some of you maybe not, how big the tech community on TikTok is. It's really pretty big. There's a lot of people that I could potentially be helping, and they ask me questions every day, and I'm happy to help them. But how cool would it be if they got access to the stream also? These streams, as you can tell, we're going on 2.5 hours now. That's fine. It's a good size. TikTok is like sound bites, and so what I'd like to do is like go back through this stream and clip out the juicy bits and throw them on TikTok, and kind of have like an information concentrate. You go get your orange juice and you concentrate it, or vanilla. Everyone has vanilla concentrate, right? So I think this stream was useful, but even for my own reference, I would want to concentrate it down. There's like, it took a lot of time that like computer processing or searching around Google Docs. And if you could just cut to the chase and say, this is what we found after the Google search. You don't need to like wait around during the Google search. So those are the sort of concentrates that you can make without sacrificing the quality of information. Now, when you get to extreme cuts like TikTok makes you do have to sacrifice some information. But even for YouTube, and you can follow my YouTube channel as well, I could cut a lot of this out, and this 2.5 hour stream could become, I think a 30-minute video. Let me know what you think. I don't think I would have sacrificed much learnings if I cut 2.5 hours down to 30 minutes. Anyway, that's my brain dump. Thanks for being here. I'm going to finish this delicious water, and I'm going to go sleep.